Hi everyone, welcome to the 139th episode of the Ask Dr. Khan show. I'm Dr. Peter Khan, functional medicine practitioner, and on this show, you're going to learn how to solve your health puzzles one whiteboard at a time. Now, today we're going to talk about obstacles to weight loss. It's the new year and everyone's looking for information on how to lose weight, and obviously that's an important thing. However, most people are going about it wrong. The obstacle to weight loss is not calorie counting, it's not doing macros, because if it was calories, you know that there are people out there, and I have clients like that, who when we track the calorie, they're eating next to nothing, maybe 800 calories, 500 calories, they're still not able to lose weight. So, and then you have people who, like myself, can eat a lot of food, and it's very difficult for me to put weight on. So you can't really look at calorie in, calorie out, because if your hormones are broken, then you cannot lose weight. See, hormones are stronger than diet. So these calculations and equations to calculate how much calories do you need per day, and then the goal is to eat less calorie than that so you can lose weight, only works if your hormones are working. If your hormones are broken, and there are many reasons for that, then those equations that personal trainers use and these fitness clubs use will not be accurate, and therefore you cannot use that to derive at a number of calories. So it's not about calories, it's really about hormones. If your hormones are broken, you are not able to lose weight. Now, one of the hormones that can really hamper this in both male and female is estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone that can really hamper weight loss. And there's a condition called estrogen dominance. So estrogen dominance is when you have more estrogen in a ratio that's higher than progesterone. So you have more estrogen than progesterone. So it's not a lack of progesterone, it's just you have more, and it's not just too much estrogen on its own, it's too much estrogen compared to progesterone. It's a balance between the two, it's a ratio. So when you have too much estrogen compared to progesterone, you're going to have a condition called estrogen dominance. That means that estrogen has more of an overpowering effect on progesterone because you just have more of it in relationship to progesterone. Now, you can have low estrogen and low progesterone, both of these hormones are low, but still be estrogen dominant because it's about the ratio. So maybe both of these hormones are low, but you have more estrogen than progesterone, even though both of them are low, you can still have estrogen dominance. Okay? Now, what are some of the symptoms of estrogen dominance? You might be surprised to know it's quite common. And I put it on a separate sheet. So here are symptoms of estrogen dominance. Now, this is not all-inclusive, but some of the major stuff. Okay? So you're going to have weight loss resistance. You're going to have a difficult time losing weight. Why is that? Because estrogen is a hormone that tends to keep fat on you. So that's why many women who take birth control pill, one of the main symptoms is weight gain. You start to gain weight. Okay? You also start to gain weight in your hips and thighs. So you sometimes will see females with a lot of weight or fat in the buttock and the hips and the thigh area, but the belly is relatively skinny and the rest of the body relatively skinny, but they just have a lot of fat and cellulite in the hips and thigh area. That is usually an estrogen dominance pattern because estrogen tend to deposit fat in the hips and thighs and reproductive area like breasts. So you may start to get breast lumps, cystic breasts. These are all signs of estrogen dominance. You might also have what's called cherry angioma. These are little red dots that you see. Little red dots, slightly raised. They're not itchy. They can be kind of throughout the body, even just a few dots. These are signs of estrogen causing damage to the blood vessels and causing little cherry angiomas. If you see these little red dots on your body, that means that you have probably way too much estrogen. Okay, now there's other reasons for cherry angioma. Inflammation itself can cause damage to blood vessels. That can also do that, but estrogen dominance is one of the things that can cause that as well. So if you have the cherry angioma and cellulites and the weights, then you start to put a picture together that it may be because of estrogen. Now, another thing is obviously if you have estrogen dominance, it's going to throw off that estrogen-progesterone ratio. One of the things you can have is you can have PMS. You can have irregular cycle or heavy bleeding on your menstrual cycle. These are all very common findings. And then hot flashes in menopausal female can be due to estrogen dominance. Another thing, you're going to have hormonal acne. You start to get acne. Even in your 40s and 30s, you're an adult now, not in high school anymore, you're still having acne problems that can flare up with your hormone cycle. You may also get headaches that may corresponding to a hormone cycle, maybe migraines that comes and goes with menstrual cycle. You may have ovarian cysts or polycystic ovarian symptom, PCOS. See, estrogen is a cell proliferative hormone that causes reproductive tissues to grow in female. So what are reproductive tissues? Your ovary, your uterus, and your endometrium, and your breast tissue, and that's why you can have cystic breasts, you can get cellulite in your hips and thighs, you're going to get growth of reproductive tissue like on your ovaries, that can show up as PCOS, that can show up as uterine fibroids, that can lead to anemia, and also can show up as endometriosis, which is extra growth of endometrial tissue due to the stimulation of estrogen on those reproductive sites. Also, it can cause thyroid problems. It can cause thyroid nodules. Too much estrogen can also lead to mood issues like depression and mood swing. Estrogen dominance can also lead to cancer, such as reproductive cancers like ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, breast cancer. Even in men, estrogen can affect men as well. Do not think that estrogen is purely a female problem. Many men have estrogen problems, estrogen dominance. They're building up estrogen in the body because of insulin resistance or inflammatory pattern that's causing them to convert the testosterone into estrogen. So then these men will have prostate cancer, colon cancer, more risk for it. And then they also started to develop female characteristics like gynecomastia, where they started growing breast tissue. So that's not good. They also have low testosterone. So then the treatment is the standard medical treatment is they give them testosterone, but what they need is they don't need more testosterone, they need to get rid of the estrogen. So how do we go about doing that? So let's talk about how we do it. Now, just by a show of hand, comment in the comment section, say, I have estrogen dominance. Put that if you have any of these symptoms or multiple of these symptoms, just so you can see how common this is. If this is like describes you to a T, like, oh my gosh, I have all these menstrual cycle issues. I have weight loss problem. I have breast bumps. I have these hormonal symptoms. I have history of these cysts, fibroids, endometriosis. Maybe you say, oh, I had a hysterectomy. Well, why did you have a hysterectomy? Maybe you had these problems. That means that estrogen dominance was there and may still be there. Remember, another form of estrogen is called xenoestrogen, which is estrogen coming from environmental compounds like personal care products, makeup, lotion, potions, plastic, BPA, pesticides. These are all environmental chemicals that have estrogen mimicking properties that when you're exposed to them can make your body look like it's full of estrogen and start having estrogen activity. And that can also present a problem. So you may not now if you're taking birth control, obviously that's going to be a form of estrogen that you're actually taking through a prescription medication. That can contribute to estrogen dominance. So why would someone have too much estrogen? Usually you're taking something, a hormone, or in guys, you can have too much estrogen because you have insulin resistance, blood sugar problem that can convert the testosterone into estrogen, and or you have environmental exposure, which is the most common type because we're all exposed, folks. We live in a toxic soup. We're all exposed to environmental compounds that have activity, effect on our hormonal system. This is across the board. So that makes detox almost mandatory. Not almost, it is mandatory. It's like imagine driving your car and never get an oil change. Like you wouldn't do that to your car, but we go through life being exposed to so many chemical toxins and nobody's ever had an oil change. And you wonder why you're sluggish, why your hormonal system's sluggish, why your weight doesn't come off. You're just carrying sludge in your system and you have to detox them. How many of you would like to get rid of these symptoms and be able to have proper hormone function? And so you start to feel great again. You start to feel like slim and no cellulite. You feel your brain is clear. You get rid of the hormone symptoms. What would that be like for you? That would be great, right? Give me a thumbs up if it's great. Awesome. So let's get rid of this. All right, let's fix it. So let's talk about how we're going to fix this estrogen dominance problem. And I'm going to give you a tool that will really help you so that you can do this really easily and effortlessly. Okay? So first, you have to understand how hormone elimination actually happens. Primarily, it happens through the liver, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, detox. Okay? There's 3 phases to liver detox. Phase 1 is your cytochrome P450 enzymes. These enzyme systems run on nutrients, certain B vitamins, certain minerals, certain amino acids that drive this cytochrome P450 enzyme detox system that's in your liver. This is so critical and it's nutrient driven. That's why the food that you eat can either make you or break you. It'll either help you detox or it'll create toxicity for you if you eat the wrong thing, the processed foods with chemicals in it. If you eat the right food with the right nutrients, it'll actually help facilitate this phase 1 detox. Think of nutrient as gasoline for this car or this machine that detox you. You don't put the gasoline in the car or in the machine won't run. You don't detox. Okay? Phase 2 of liver detox runs on amino acids. And we have different type of conjugation pathways. Okay? And some example will be acetylation, glucuronidation, which requires healthy blood sugar metabolism, glutathione conjugation, which requires this antioxidant called glutathione. So there's many different conjugation pathway, about 6 in all, that requires different type of amino acids. So again, then protein absorption is really important, right? Because amino acids derive from proteins. So you got to be able to eat protein, or protein is derived from amino acids. So you eat the protein, so your body break it down. So first, you got to eat the right food. And secondly, you have to be able to break down the amino acids. So digestion is really important here. And absorption, right? You got to have intact intestinal lining. You cannot have leaky gut. And phase 2 is elimination. Okay? So this is where it's really fecal. Okay? Fecal elimination. You got to poop the stuff out, right? Your body binding these toxins. And here we're talking specifically about hormones, estrogen, right? We're talking about how to detox estrogen, okay? So then you got to poop it out. So that's the 3 phases. You got to support these 3 phases so that you can effectively get rid of the hormone, and that's how you're going to be able to get rid of the unwanted weight, the cellulite, the excess hormone that's creating havoc in your body. Okay? Now, another thing that's really important here is actually a process called estrogen metabolism. Okay, so let's talk about that here. So what we have is we have these estrogen, we have the good estrogen, we have the bad estrogen. Okay, the good estrogen is this form called the 2-hydroxyestrone, and then the bad one is your 16-hydroxy. Okay, estrone, and then you also have another one called the 4-hydroxyestrone. Okay, so these 2 are the bad ones. That can cause cancer, that can cause a buildup in your system and cause problem for you. Okay, so what we want is, so not all estrogen is bad. When we say estrogen dominance, it doesn't mean estrogen is bad, right? Because there's good estrogen, there's bad estrogen. Just like there's good cholesterol and there's bad cholesterol. So you want the good ones, you don't want the bad one. And what happens is, normally in your body, you have this process where your body help convert some of this stuff, okay? So the way it works is that when you eat things, this is where nutrition comes in. Check this out. Things like cruciferous vegetables, like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, in the cruciferous family of vegetables, contain a compound called indole-3-carbinol, or we call it I3C. This is a compound that's found in cruciferous vegetables. And what your body does is that when this compound hits stomach acid, stomach HCl, it converts it into a compound called dienolylmethane. Okay, I'm gonna put it short as DIM, dienolylmethane or DIM. So this is the precursor coming from food, and this is the active ingredient. The active ingredient, okay? The predominant active ingredient that actually binds to the estrogen and actually helps you to push the bad estrogen into the good one, okay? So this DIM compound is really critical for those with those estrogen dominant symptoms that I showed you earlier, this whole list, okay? The DIM is really important for that. So what are some of the benefits for DIM? DIM has the ability to actually help you detox the hormone, bind to the hormone, convert the hormone into the beneficial form, okay? It has the ability to actually help with weight loss. There's a lot of studies shown with DIM helping with weight loss. And the way it helps with the weight loss, remember, it's not calorie, right? That's what I stated in the beginning of this video. Weight loss, many times, is not a calorie problem. It's a hormone problem. So your hormones are broken. It's plugged up. It's sludgy, like a sink that's plugged up. You need to detox that. You need to cleanse it. You need to change the oil of your metabolic machinery. And DIM is one of those things that are like soap. You know, it's like detergent that just detoxes this hormone. And therefore, when you detox the hormone, you have proper hormone function, and the weight loss is a side effect of that. So stop trying to like eat nothing and doing CrossFit and then overtraining and burn yourself out. Start to work on your hormone. Make your body healthy by unclogging the sink of your metabolic machinery, so to speak, okay? So the DIM has the ability to do that. Such an important compound. In fact, I believe it's one of the things that almost every female in America needs. Some researchers say that American females swim in a sea of estrogen. There's so many estrogen compounds, from birth control pills, hormone replacement therapy, hormones that are found in personal care products, in lotions and potions, environmental chemical that mimic estrogen. There's so many estrogen. It's no wonder so many American females have female hormone issues, and so many of them have hysterectomies, taking out bad parts without ever looking at the underlying root cause. I feel that this DIM is such an important product for female and male alike, because so many guys have this problem. Keep in mind that DIM actually helps block the conversion of testosterone into estrogen in guys, which is one of the reasons guys will develop man boobs, difficulty losing weight, and have all these testosterone problems. So DIM can be very beneficial for guys. And guys can have that cherry angioma as well. If you're a guy, you see those little red dots, you may have estrogen dominance. So this will help you with the hormonal acne, help you with support elimination of these hormones, and the result of better hormone function is the decrease in hormone acne, decrease in headache, decrease in PMS, decrease in menstrual cycle symptoms, decrease in these reproductive issues. That's what you want. You want to address the underlying root cause, and I'm literally just giving it to you. Now, another thing that's really important is one of these conjugation pathways called methylation. Turns out that methylation is one of the main phase 2 liver detox pathway that helps convert these estrogens into the beneficial type, and it just helps you eliminate it. And what's needed for methylation, one of the main things is B12, okay? So now I gave you the pieces. We have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. We have this use of the DIM, so important. This is so important to convert the bad estrogen into the good so that you can have proper hormone function. It's like detergent for the estrogen sink, you know, to help you just dissolve all the stuff and eliminate them, and then use a B12. So I gave you all the steps. Would you like to know that there's a tool that I created specifically for that? Exactly what I just talked about. Scientifically, based on science and physiology, to support each of these individual pathways. Do you think that's useful? Please put in the comment section, useful, if you feel like that will be very helpful for you. Okay, let me share with you. So I already put in the post. It is something that's called, I'm going to put it right in the middle here. It's called a Hormone Detox Kit. So this kit contains all the ingredients necessary for phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, estrogen elimination through DIN, and the B12 that we talked about. So what it has is neurometabolic detox. This is actually a functional food powder, so you can actually make a smoothie, a delicious smoothie out of it. It contains all the vitamins and minerals and cofactors used in phase 1 and phase 2, and some in phase 3 as well. And it's pea protein based, so it actually contains some protein, which in the goal of weight loss, you want a little bit more protein, you want less carbs. So by having this protein powder with these nutrients in it to support phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, that's gonna help you with this phase right here. We also add in this product called Fiber FX. This is a functional food powder, again, a powder form that you can combine these two together in a smoothie. And this contains soluble and insoluble fiber. Why is fiber important? Because it's important for colon health, it's important for digestive health, but more importantly, it acts as a binder. Remember, you have to poop it out, right? Fecal route. So once you bind it, the fiber is gonna bind to all these excess toxins and hormones, and you're actually gonna be able to have that regularity and that bowel movement to poop this stuff out. Okay? Another thing that we use that's super important is called Estrogen Detox. This is so important. This is a product that contains active ingredient of diethyl methane in it in a specific form, in a emulsified liquid form. It's in the gel cap, but it's liquid on the inside. And the reason we did that is because this makes the absorption of that DIN much more bioavailable to your body, okay, in a liquid form versus a powder form. So literally it's like detergent for the estrogen, okay? And this is gonna help do this step right here, which is gonna help you bind to the estrogen and convert from the bad estrogen to the good estrogen. And then we also added B12, sublingual. B12, sublingual, okay? So this is a lozenge, really. And what this is gonna do, help support that methylation pathway, which is part of the phase 2 liver detox pathway, okay? So all this together in a kit, and we're having a discount on that right now. Now we only have limited quantity, okay? Last I was told we only have 8 of those. I think we're gonna probably put out 16 total, that the first 16 people who buy will get a special discount, $30 off, okay? So it'll only be, I think, $149, which is nothing for these 4 products. Regularly, he's gonna go $199. So you're gonna get a discount, and so you can use a link that's posted on this page right now that you can order this, but it's only for the first few people who order, okay? We're making only just a certain amount. I don't wanna make this a weight loss program. It's not. It's a health enhancement protocol to help support healthy, normal hormone function. And when you have healthy, normal hormone function, as I've shown you today, then the weight loss becomes effortless. You're not fighting uphill. Your body will be able to utilize the calories in the food. So then the calorie counting and all that macros and the personal training will work. But if your hormone is busted and the sink, when you're draining these hormones out of your system is broken and is sludgy, you got to change the oil. You got to put some Drano down there. And this is the protocol that's going to help you achieve that. So if you have estrogen dominant symptoms like we talked about earlier, weight loss resistance, cellulite, weight in the hip and thigh area, you have PMS, you have hormonal symptoms, you have hot flash if you're menopausal, even if you're men. If you're men that have trouble losing weight, you feel like you have gynecomastia, some breast tissue growth you're concerned about. If you're a female, you have history of endometriosis, ovarian cysts, history of reproductive symptoms. This is something that can really help you to optimize things and help support you in your journey to good health. So put a question in the comment section if you have any questions. I answer these questions personally. And please share this video with people. This is so important for people to know that there's hope. There's things that you can do that are productive, that are efficient, that are effective. So please help me share this video, help me like and comment on this video. And I'll see you next week at the Ask Dr. Khan Show. Take care.